Hi, it's day 4 of the PL90. Are you ready to coach your hostess? When you go out into a party, you want to make the most for your time, and your host wants to get as much product as possible for her time and effort too. So let's teach you how to be a great hostess coacher. Turn to our trusted Start with Success guide, and first really take the time to learn what your program is. So on page 14, you'll see our host program listed right there in 4 pieces. And of course, every month there's different offers. You want to be updated with that as well. But when you know what your host gets, you can ask, what do you want to get out of your party? Tell me all the things you want on your wish list, and I can tell you what will need to happen in order to get everything you want on your list. And that will make for a very happy host and a very happy you. Now again, right in our Start with Success guide, there is on page 10, how to coach your host, all the steps to take, and it's got tips on communicating for that as well. So take a few minutes and review that. And then there's a checklist. Now you can make copies of this checklist if that works for you, or just refer to it every time that you are working with one of your hosts. And really, attention and contact is everything. And we're going to put together our host packet. So these should have come in your kit. This is our little envelope that helps keep everything straight for your host. So inside of this, you want to include at least one of each of our catalogs. I personally like 2, and you can write host copy on one, and then if somebody walks away with it, they still have one at all times in their possession. So you can do 2 of each or 1 of each, whatever you prefer. I think that our invitation cards, if I can turn them right, our invitation cards that your host sends out are crucial. I know so many people who have huge parties really say it's because of this. People have kind of forgotten how to do invitations. It's all over Evite now, which is great. You can do Facebook, you can do Evite, you can do texting and phone calls, but getting something happy in the mail is really important too. And a lot of times, successful consultants will just say, give me your guest list, and then you know people are coming, and you know the reminder cards went out because it's a little time consuming. And a lot of times your host may not be able to get around to it as much as she wants to. So if you take responsibility for this part of it, it will really pay off for you. We also have the customer brochure, and this is nice to include because it has everything about the business in it. So they get a little bit of information about the whole Party Light business, and there's also that $5 coupon, which they can use in the future. And of course, order forms. I usually put, personally, about 8 to 10 order forms in there, because however many you put in is how many you expect that they'll get in outside orders. And you need to let your host know that's what these are for your outside orders. And last but not least, this is something that we've created, which is just a little letter that says host versus consultant, and it's going to be attached to this video for you. So it just tells you the difference between what a hostess gets and what a consultant would get. So if they turn this into a starter show, and what would they earn if they were the consultant earning money on it? So it just puts a little thought into their head, and I just put a little sticky on it that says, have you ever thought about doing this? Just a question. And then we wrap it up nice and neat into a little envelope and put it in the mail. And there's your host packet. A little bit of extra time and effort when you are working with the hosts of your party will pay off for you. So it's a difference between going to a party and earning $100 or going to the party and earning $200. And that smile on your host's face at the end saying, you know what, I got so much more than I ever imagined. I love this. I'm going to tell all my friends how great it is. That is priceless. So learn hostess coaching and do it.